One, I'm reading for the lovely sign of Aquarius. Aquarius, if this is your sun sign, that means it's the sign that you relate to. When people ask, what sign are you? I'm an Aquarius. Then that would be your sun sign. But it can also resonate with your moon, your rising, or any other placement in your chart. Now, a lot of people have been writing to ask me this, so I'm going to go through it again. You can Google a natal chart or a birth chart. There are a lot of places that offer you free charts on the internet. Somebody said to me, do you need your time of birth? Well, of course, it's handy to have that because that will help you with your rising sign. However, it doesn't mean that you can't get a natal chart or birth chart without your time of birth. Now, I understand that there are a lot of astrologists out there who can actually work out your rising for you if you're really keen to do that. If you've studied this well enough and if you've studied astrology, there are certain aspects of who you are that will be very evident in your rising sign. But it doesn't mean you can't get the rest of the planets. Now, occasionally one may be put out by your timing, but will still, most planets stay in your birth chart for a number of weeks, months, years. So please, if you're going to find out and you want to find out more about yourself, don't worry so much about your time if you don't know it. As I said, the more you get sort of used to it, you may be able to work out your own rising. But in saying that, the rest of the chart is still pretty accurate. So what I say to people is a lot of those sites you go to will allow you to download a report for free. It's really worthwhile. It's quite enlightening, really, to see some of your aspects in action. So when you're reading up on yourself, you can actually relate to what is said about you. So, for example, if you have a particular sign in your moon or your Venus, then those particular signs, planets will relate to those areas. So, for example, Venus relates to love. If you're a Taurus, then you love like a Taurus, if you've got Taurus in your Venus. All right, let's get on with your reading here, Aquarius. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I'm really grateful for all your beautiful comments, your support, and the love you send my way. If you do need to contact me for readings, the Aussie Goddess at gmail.com. And I think that's pretty much everything. All right, let's see where we're going here. I just have a feeling that, how funny, I was going to say I have a feeling the Queen of Wands is going to come out again. It's the King of Wands. When I did the What's Cracking reading today, the Queen of Wands came out first. And in this one, we have the King of Wands. Now, neither one of those talk about male and female. What they talk about is masculine and feminine attributes. Now, sometimes if you're doing a personal reading, you can relate this to somebody around. But in a general reading like this, it's talking about masculine energy. Now, it could be, Aquarius, that you're dealing with a Leo, Sag, Aries. You could be cross-watching this video, which means you may know somebody who's an Aquarius and you want to know what's going on for them. If you're a fire sign, then obviously they're thinking about you at this time. So the King of Wands is a leader. The energy of this card is about leadership, power, healthy personal power, management, being able to sort of influence others, but also being very attractive, charismatic, but not in an unhealthy way. If he was upside down, then I would say to you that's possible. Now, it's possible here that you've been doing a little bit of a cycle with this person. That means that you may have had a relationship with them that's broken down, got back together, broken down, got back together, because that's the way it seems to work with these cycles. So I see a wounded warrior here. That means that the chances are pretty good that you've gone around a couple of times with this person. Yep, and you've tried. You've tried really hard, as far as I can see, to try and stop this cycle from happening. We all do this. You're madly in love with someone, something breaks down in the relationship and you think, right, that's it. They've treated me really badly. I won't take them back. And they come in the door and go, I'm really sorry, I won't do it again. And you go, all right, then give them another go. And that's what it looks like here. But like the What's Cracking reading today, there is a real need for you to find your own balance. There is a need for you to invest in yourself with that Six of Pentacles. We do have the Hierophant coming in here with the Five of Pentacles and then the Strength card. I am absolutely blown out. These sort of readings, when they're similar energy, blows me away. So what I'm feeling here is that you've got somebody you may have been cycling with. You might have only been around with them once. They may be due to come around again. And I feel like somehow or another you're all ready to sort of say no, move forward on yourself here. That Strength card tells me that you are about to embark on some sort of healing journey. And it may be that you don't want the person back where you are, so you're really investing in yourself. If this is your story, I would definitely watch the What's Cracking today, because it was certainly a reading where you were choosing yourself to work on yourself and do what you need to do. And I feel like this may be related to it as well, the energy that's out there. There's the Two of Cups. So nearly all the cards, completely different deck to what I used over there, because I used a Gilded Tarot. But when the Two of Cups comes out, this denotes some sort of relationship between two people that you may see as a soulmate relationship or a very close relationship with somebody, especially with that Two Cups. So whatever it is here, there is definitely an energy. Yeah, and look, there's a putting down of this connection. All right, let's just have a look at the next two. Yeah, a lot of stress and anxiety, and we have a Tower. Alrighty, I feel like somehow or another, I have to say, I think that you've had a relationship with somebody or a connection with somebody, but as soon as you start to do the healing, I feel like they come around again, and it's really hard to perhaps focus on yourself. So there is an energy with toxic relationships where when the person is there, it's very hard to say no, but when they're not there, you can get yourself into that energy of not wanting to be with them anymore. There are also relationships that we still are sort of stuck in that energy of feeling we can't move on without them. So I'm not quite sure where you are on the spectrum of that, but I feel like here, and it may be that you're dealing with an Aquarius and you're cross-watching, then I would say to you, it could be that you are in that healing phase at the moment. And always for me as a reader, it is very much about you taking back your power and investing in yourself while you're doing that healing, whatever you need to do to boost your own energy. All right, let's go. So we got the Queen of Cups coming through. So we have some Scorpio energy here. Have the Lovers card, which of course represents a sign of Gemini. Oh, and I have the Hermit, which came up in that last position in the other reading. So I feel like here that you are really trying hard to take a new direction. Maybe you need a little bit more time with that Tower to rebuild. Because for me, that Lover's card is almost for sure saying that somebody is coming towards you again. For some of you, you're going to say, great, that's amazing, I want them back, please send them back. But if you haven't gone through healing, and if they haven't gone through healing, you're just going to repeat the same cycle. Now, in some relationships where I've worked with people in these situations, both of them have worked together and done extremely well. So if the issue is that you have some sort of rejection, attachment disorder, abandonment issues, if somebody comes back and really does want to work with you on that, you can get through it together. But see, more often than not, one person is more wounded than the other, and one person will choose to do the work that really needs to be done. So if you've been in this sort of situation, especially if this person's already been around again, it's really good to look into the psychological side of this, which is that whole abandonment, rejection and attachment issues, to understand why it is hard for you to let go. And a lot of it is to do with your own childhood, your parents, your upbringing. Doesn't necessarily mean you had a bad upbringing by any means, but it's the way that you were parented. Because I know people who've been very well loved and cared for, but they've never been allowed to deal with their own pains. So parents have always sort of stood in, protected them, overloved them, whatever. But to me here, it makes me feel like you've got somebody coming around again. Could be Virgo, Gemini, Scorpio energy. Very strong in this reading. All right, so we, oh boy, a lot of swords here, a lot of pain. But I do see this one's the same. You are moving away from that. I do feel that you're quite ready. Yeah, there's a death card coming through. I'm just going to pull one more. So you're ready to start on a new beginning. I feel like it may be a new beginning with this person. Maybe they have done some work and the energies apply to both of you. But it could be that you have finally decided that you don't want to go round again and you're pulling the plug on something. Because to me, this is change, new beginning, moving forward energy, especially with that Six of Swords there, which is sort of taking you away from a situation. But if you do choose to go round again, just remember to invest in yourself, know what you deserve. All right, so I have somebody here, could be Leo, Sag, Aries, or one of those other signs. Feel like they've gone round a few times, maybe once or twice. I do feel that somehow or another you try to be strong, but they're hard to resist. Universe saying with the Temperance and the Six of Pentacles that it's about time you struck a balance, find your core, find your center, and make a choice here. Because I feel like every time they come around again, you feel sad, and it just sort of, it's probably perpetuating your energy. Because I think that when they're not there, you're realizing that you want to work on yourself, and when they're around, you fall apart at the seams. All right, let's read you an energy oracle. Just pull this up. Okay, so if you're watching now, I was reading for the sign of Aquarius here. Tomorrow will be Pisces. Oh, wow. Difficult. There it is. Okay, fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but this last week I've pulled angels nearly every day, which really tells me that a lot of what you're going through would be very karmic energy, would be about you healing yourself, healing your past. But this is fourth chakra here. So it's card 38. Okay, this is about love, compassion, and self-acceptance. Raphael extends a beautiful green energy surrounded by gentle waves of pink to your heart center. This card upright indicates that you now have greater readiness to receive love from others as well as from yourself. It could indicate that a much needed healing from a previous broken heart is taking place. Oh my goodness, couldn't be more right. The tender vibrations of Raphael remind you to encourage yourself with the compassionate self-talk that you desire to hear from others. Know that as you do, the light from your heart center will shine with an irresistible beauty, and the universe will send people and situations that cause your sense of love and support to grow and grow. I remember, like, obviously I've been on a healing journey over the years, and for various reasons I've sort of had to go back and revisit and do more healing. I always say it's like the skin of an onion. It sort of gets peeled back, but there's always something more that you need to heal. And the one thing I learned was self-talk. You know, I used to think when I got to a certain point that I wasn't negative, like the things I said to myself weren't negative. I was really, what I felt was conscious about that. But then as you start to dig deeper, you start to hear it. And it is in your self-talk. Like you can treat yourself really, really poorly, but actually think you're doing well. So this is why I always say, like, if you haven't read the book by Eckhart Tolle, go and have a read of that. It is quite a hard book to read and might take you a few times before you really sort of grasp some of the concepts in there. But in terms of that, living in the moment is the most essential thing to learn. But the self-talk one is something I learned from that book. You know, being able to be compassionate with yourself. Like you do it without realizing it. Like I used to say things to myself like, oh, there you go again, you've done it again. And I think, why would I say that? How wrong of me to say that to myself. So I think it's really, really important that you listen to your own thinking, you listen to your own thoughts, but you also listen to the words you say. You know, when you say, oh, I've done that, I keep doing that, it's not a good thing, you know, and you keep coming out with these sort of negative transactions, you are listening to them. So change the transaction, change the way of thinking, change the way you see it. and perhaps put it on a different slant. So instead of saying, oh my goodness, you're so stupid, you've done that again, maybe turn around and say, wow, it's taken you a couple of times to learn that lesson, but this time you're going to take it on board and you're going to let it go. Don't be so hard on yourself. That is self-love. All right, I'll leave you with that. Thanks, Aquarius.